Have you ever felt a strange connection to a place you've never been? Or maybe you've had a talent that seemed to come out of nowhere? These could be signs that you're a reincarnated soul. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of past lives and reincarnation. We'll explore 8 signs that might mean you've lived before. So get ready. You might discover something amazing about yourself. Imagine finding out that your soul has lived many lives before this one. It's like unlocking a treasure chest of hidden memories and experiences. This knowledge isn't just interesting, it can change your whole life. Understanding your past lives might explain why you feel different from others, or why you're naturally good at certain things. It's like finding the missing pieces of a puzzle you didn't even know you were solving. But here's the thing. Learning about your past lives isn't always easy. It can be exciting, sure, but it can also be a bit scary. You might discover things about yourself that surprise you. Maybe you'll find out you were someone completely different in a past life. Or maybe you'll understand why you have certain fears or dreams. It's a journey of self-discovery that can be both thrilling and challenging. Think about it. If you knew you had lived before, how would that change how you see the world? Would you look at strangers differently, wondering if you knew them in a past life? Would you be more curious about history, knowing you might have been part of it? These are the kinds of questions that make exploring past lives so exciting. Now let's talk about what reincarnation really means. Imagine your soul is like a traveler, and each life is a new journey. When one journey ends, that's when you die, the traveler doesn't disappear. Instead, it packs its bags and sets off on a new adventure in a new body. That's reincarnation, the idea that when we die, our soul moves on to be born again in a new body. It's a bit like changing clothes for your soul. Just as you might wear different outfits for different occasions, your soul experiences different lives to learn different lessons. Maybe in one life you're rich, in another you're poor. In one life you might be an artist, in another a scientist. Each life gives your soul a chance to grow and learn in new ways. Many people believe we live these many lives for a reason. It's not just random. There's a purpose. The idea is that each life teaches us something important. Maybe we need to learn about love, or forgiveness, or strength. By living different lives, we get to experience all sorts of situations and challenges. It's like the ultimate school for the soul. Think of it this way. If you only lived once, you'd only get to experience one tiny slice of what the world has to offer. But if you live many lives, you get to try out all sorts of different experiences. You might be all sorts of different people, living in different times and places. It's a way for your soul to gain wisdom and understanding that you couldn't get from just one life. Now, you might be wondering, if we've lived before, why don't we remember it? Well, some people believe we do remember, just not in the way we remember what we had for breakfast. These memories might come to us in dreams, or in feelings of déjà vu, or in unexplained talents or interests. It's like these past lives leave little clues for us to find. Understanding reincarnation can change how you look at life. Suddenly, the world becomes a much bigger, more interconnected place. You might start to see each person as someone who, like you, has lived many lives and learned many lessons. It can make you more understanding and patient with others, knowing that everyone is on their own long journey of growth. But here's an important thing to remember. Even if you believe in reincarnation, your current life is still super important. It's not about getting lost in thoughts of past lives. It's about using that knowledge to live your current life better. Understanding your past can help you make better choices now and plan for your future. Some people find the idea of reincarnation comforting. It means that death isn't the end. It's just a transition to a new chapter. It can take away some of the fear of dying and make life feel less pressured. After all, if you have many lives to live, you don't have to squeeze everything into just one. On the other hand, the idea of reincarnation also comes with responsibility. If you believe your actions in this life affect your future lives, it might make you think more carefully about how you behave. It's like planting seeds for your future selves to harvest. Now, it's important to know that not everyone believes in reincarnation, and that's okay. It's a concept that's part of many religions and spiritual beliefs, but it's not accepted by everyone. Some people find it fascinating, but aren't sure if it's real. Others are convinced it's true based on their own experiences. And some people don't believe in it at all. There's no right or wrong here. It's a personal belief. Whether you believe in reincarnation or not, exploring the idea can be really interesting. It makes you think about big questions. Who are we really? Why are we here? What happens when we die? Even if you're not sure about reincarnation, thinking about these questions can help you understand yourself and the world better. So, as we go through the signs that might mean you're a reincarnated soul, keep an open mind. You might recognize some of these signs in yourself, or you might not. Either way, it's a chance to learn something new about yourself and the world around you. And who knows? You might just discover something amazing about your own soul's journey. Reincarnation isn't just a far-out idea. It's something that millions of people around the world believe in. From the busy streets of India to the quiet temples of Tibet, and even in Western countries, many folks think we live more than one life. But why do so many people believe in reincarnation? For some, it's because they have memories they can't explain. Imagine a little kid who's never been to Paris suddenly talking about living there in the 1800s, describing things they couldn't possibly know. These kinds of stories make people wonder if we really do live more than once. Others find that reincarnation helps explain why life sometimes seems unfair. Have you ever wondered why some people are born into tough situations while others have it easy? Reincarnation suggests that maybe what happens in this life is connected to things we did in past lives. It's like a big cosmic balancing act. Some people feel drawn to reincarnation because it gives life a bigger meaning. Instead of just one short life, they see themselves as souls on a long journey of growth and learning. This can make the hard times easier to bear, knowing that they're part of a bigger picture. But here's the thing. Not everyone believes in reincarnation, and that's totally okay. Some people find the idea comforting, while others prefer different beliefs about what happens after we die. The important thing is to respect each other's ideas, even if they're different from our own. Whether you believe in reincarnation or not, thinking about it can make you look at life in new ways. It might make you more curious about history, more open to different cultures, or more thoughtful about how you treat others. After all, if we've all lived many lives, We're all connected in ways we can't even imagine. Now, let's get to the heart of our topic, the signs that might mean you're a reincarnated soul. Remember, these are just possibilities. You might recognize some of these in yourself, or none at all. Either way, it's fun to think about. Have you ever been somewhere new but felt like you've been there before? That's déjà vu. It's that weird feeling when a new place or situation feels strangely familiar. Some people think déjà vu might be memories leaking through from past lives. Imagine walking down a street in a city you've never visited, but somehow knowing what's around the corner, or meeting someone for the first time, but feeling like you've known them forever. These moments of déjà vu can be quick and puzzling, leaving you wondering, how did I know that? Of course, there are other explanations for déjà vu. Scientists have some theories about how our brains sometimes misfire, making new experiences feel familiar. But for those who believe in reincarnation, déjà vu is like a little postcard from a past life, reminding us of places we've been and people we've known before. Do you have a fear that doesn't make sense? Maybe you're terrified of water, even though you've never had a bad experience with it. Or perhaps the thought of heights makes you panic, even if you've never fallen. These unexplained fears might be echoes from past lives. Think about it. If you drowned in a past life, your soul might remember that fear, even if your current brain doesn't know why. It's like your soul carries an old warning label. Be careful around water. These fears can be really strong and hard to shake. They might seem silly or frustrating, especially if they get in the way of things you want to do. But looking at them as possible past life memories can help you understand and maybe even work through them. Do you ever have dreams that feel more like memories? Maybe you dream of living in ancient Egypt, wearing strange clothes and speaking a language you don't know? Or you might dream of being a soldier in a war you've only read about in history books. These vivid, detailed dreams of other times and places might be your soul remembering its past adventures. These dreams can feel incredibly real. You might wake up feeling like you've actually lived another life overnight. The sounds, smells, and feelings in the dream can be so clear that it's hard to believe they're not real memories. Some people even use these dreams as a way to explore their past lives. They keep dream journals, writing down every detail they can remember. Over time, they might notice patterns or recurring themes that give them clues about who they might have been in past lives. Ever felt like an old soul? Maybe you're young, but you feel like you've been around for a long, long time. You might find yourself giving advice to older people or understanding things that seem beyond your years. It's like having an old, wise soul in a young body. This can show up in different ways. You might feel more comfortable around adults than kids your own age. Or you might have opinions and ideas that seem mature for your age. Sometimes, it might even feel a bit lonely, like you don't quite fit in with people your own age. But being an old soul isn't all serious business. It can also mean you have a unique perspective on life. You might find joy in simple things, or have a calm wisdom that helps you navigate life's ups and downs. It's like having a secret superpower, the wisdom of many lives packed into your current self. Have you ever been surprisingly good at something you've never learned? Maybe you picked up a musical instrument and could play it without lessons, or perhaps you understood a foreign language without studying it. These unexplained talents might be skills you developed in past lives. It's like your soul has a hidden backpack full of abilities from its past adventures. Sometimes these skills pop out when you least expect them. You might surprise yourself by knowing how to do something you're sure you never learned in this life. These unexpected abilities can show up in all sorts of ways. Maybe you're great at chess without ever having been taught the strategies. Or you might have a knack for fixing machines, even if you've never studied engineering. It's as if your hands remember skills your mind has forgotten. Do you feel a deep connection to a culture that's not your own? Or maybe you're fascinated by a particular time in history. This strong attraction might be your soul remembering a past life in that culture or era. Imagine feeling at home when you visit a country you've never been to before. The food, the music, the customs, everything just feels right. Or maybe you're drawn to books and movies about a certain historical period, feeling like you understand the people who lived then. This connection can be so strong that it shapes your interests and even your life choices. You might choose to study a language or history because of this unexplained attraction. Or you might decorate your home in the style of a culture you feel connected to. It's like your soul is trying to reconnect with a place it once called home. Have you noticed patterns repeating in your life? Maybe you always seem to face the same challenges or find yourself in similar situations over and over. Some believe these recurring themes are lessons your soul is trying to learn across multiple lifetimes. It's like your soul has homework it hasn't quite finished. In each life, it gets another chance to work on these lessons. Maybe you always struggle with trust, or you repeatedly find yourself in leadership positions. These patterns might be clues about what your soul is here to learn or master. Recognizing these themes can be really helpful. Once you see the pattern, you might be able to approach it differently. It's like finally understanding the question your soul has been trying to answer across many lives. Do you feel like you're here for a reason? Like you have something important to do, even if you're not sure what it is? This sense of purpose might be your soul remembering the mission it set for itself before starting this life. It's a feeling that goes beyond just wanting to be successful or happy. It's more like a deep knowing that you have a specific role to play in the world. Maybe you feel called to help others, to create something, or to solve a particular problem. This sense of mission can be both exciting and frustrating. Exciting because it gives your life meaning and direction. Frustrating because you might not always know exactly what your mission is or how to accomplish it. But believers in reincarnation say that as you grow and learn, your mission becomes clearer. Having this sense of purpose can give you strength during tough times. It can help you make decisions and set priorities. Even when things are hard, you might find comfort in feeling that you're here for a reason, playing your part in a bigger story that spans many lifetimes. So, you've heard about the signs of being a reincarnated soul, and maybe some of them sound familiar. Now what? How can you explore the possibility of your past lives? Don't worry, you don't need a time machine or a crystal ball. There are simple ways to start your journey of discovery. One easy way to start is by sitting quietly and thinking about your strongest skills or interests. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Now, think about something you're really good at or something you love doing. Maybe you're an amazing cook or you love painting. Ask yourself, where did this talent or passion come from? Try to imagine a time or place where you might have developed this skill in a past life. Don't worry if you don't see clear pictures or get specific information. This isn't about seeing your whole past life like a movie. It's more about tuning into feelings and impressions. Maybe when you think about your cooking skills, you get a feeling of being in a warm, busy kitchen long ago. Or when you think about your love of painting, you might sense the smell of oil paints in an old studio. Another way to explore is through your dreams. Keep a dream journal by your bed. When you wake up, write down any dreams you remember, especially ones that seem to be from other times or places. Over time, you might notice patterns or recurring themes that could give you clues about your past lives. You can also try meditation. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Sit comfortably and focus on your breathing. As you relax, imagine yourself going back in time. See if any images, feelings, or ideas come to you about who you might have been in the past. Again, don't worry about getting a complete picture. Even small impressions can be meaningful. Some people find it helpful to use objects as triggers for past life memories. Hold an old object, like an antique book or a piece of jewelry, and see if it brings up any feelings or images. You might be surprised at the memories or sensations that come up. Music can also be a powerful tool for connecting with past lives. Listen to music from different time periods or cultures. Pay attention to how it makes you feel. Does any particular style of music feel strangely familiar or emotional for you? This might be a clue about a past life connection. Remember, exploring past lives is a personal journey. What works for one person might not work for another. The key is to keep an open mind and be patient with yourself. It's not about forcing memories or making things up. It's about gently allowing any natural connections or memories to surface. As you explore, keep in mind that the goal isn't to prove anything to anyone else. This is about your own personal growth and understanding. Whether or not you uncover clear memories of past lives, the process of exploring can teach you a lot about yourself in this life. It's also important to approach this exploration with a sense of balance. While it can be fascinating to think about past lives, remember that your current life is the most important one. Use any insights you gain to enrich your present life, not to escape from it. If you find that thinking about past lives brings up strong emotions or unsettling thoughts, it's okay to take a break. You can always come back to it later. And if you feel you need help processing what you're experiencing, don't hesitate to talk to a trusted friend or a professional who's open to these ideas. Exploring past lives can be an exciting adventure of self-discovery. It might open up new ways of understanding yourself and your place in the world. Who knows? You might uncover hidden talents, find explanations for unexplained feelings, or gain a new perspective on your life's purpose. The journey of exploring your past lives is really a journey into the deepest parts of yourself. It's completely normal to feel unsure about the idea of reincarnation and past lives. After all, it's a big concept to wrap your head around. Maybe you've recognized some of the signs we've talked about, but you're still not quite convinced. Or maybe you're intrigued by the idea but don't know what to believe. Don't worry. Being unsure is actually a pretty common reaction. First things first, it's important to remember that some of these signs of past lives could have other explanations too. That déjà vu feeling, it might be a glitch in how your brain processes memories. Your unexplained fear of water, maybe you had a scary experience as a small child that you don't consciously remember. That natural talent for music, it could be a combination of good genes and early exposure to music. The thing is, whether these experiences are from past lives or have other explanations, they're still real and important parts of who you are. The value isn't just in believing or not believing in past lives, it's in what these experiences teach you about yourself. If you're not sure about reincarnation, that's okay. You don't have to make a firm decision one way or the other. Instead, try approaching the idea with curiosity. Think of it as exploring a possibility rather than accepting a belief. Ask yourself, what if this were true? How would it change how I see myself in the world? Being open to the idea of past lives doesn't mean you have to believe in it completely. It's more about being willing to consider different perspectives on life, death, and the nature of the soul. This openness itself can be a valuable tool for personal growth and understanding. Remember, many people go through life without ever considering these ideas, and that's fine too. But if you're here, reading about this, it means you're curious. And curiosity is a wonderful quality that can lead you to all sorts of interesting discoveries about yourself and the world. If you find the idea of past lives unsettling, that's okay too. It's a big concept that challenges a lot of what we're typically taught about life and death. Take your time to process it. There's no rush to figure it all out. You can explore these ideas at your own pace, taking what resonates with you and leaving the rest. The most important thing is to be true to yourself. If exploring past lives feels right to you, go for it. If it doesn't, that's perfectly fine too. Your beliefs and your journey are your own. Trust your instincts and follow the path that feels authentic to you. Whether you fully believe in reincarnation or you're just open to the possibility, exploring the idea of past lives can be incredibly helpful in your current life. It's not just about satisfying curiosity. This knowledge can have real, practical benefits for how you understand yourself and navigate your life. One of the biggest ways this knowledge can help is by giving you a new perspective on your fears, talents, and life patterns. Those unexplained phobias that have always bothered you, understanding them as possible echoes from past lives might help you approach them differently. Instead of just being frustrated by your fear, you might feel more compassion for yourself. This new perspective can be the first step in working through those fears. The same goes for your talents and interests. Viewing them as skills developed over many lifetimes can boost your confidence. Maybe you've always felt a bit unsure about your artistic abilities. But what if you saw that talent as something you've been honing for centuries? It might give you the confidence to really pursue that passion. Understanding the concept of past lives can also help you make sense of your relationships. Ever met someone and felt an instant connection, like you've known them forever? Or maybe you have a difficult relationship that you can't explain. The idea of soul connections across multiple lives can provide a new way of understanding these bonds. It might help you appreciate the deep connections and perhaps find more patience for the challenging ones. This knowledge can also give you a broader perspective on life's challenges. When you view your current life as just one chapter in a long journey, it can help you take a step back from immediate problems. It doesn't make the problems go away, but it might help you approach them with more calm and wisdom. Exploring past lives can also lead to a greater sense of purpose. If you feel like you're here on a specific mission, it can give your life a sense of direction and meaning. This can be incredibly motivating, helping you focus on what truly matters to you. Another benefit is the potential for greater compassion, both for yourself and others. If we've all lived many lives and had many different experiences, it becomes easier to understand and empathize with people who are different from us. It can make you more patient with your own flaws, too, seeing them as part of a longer journey of growth. This knowledge can also change how you view death. For many people, the idea that our souls continue on can reduce fear and anxiety about dying. It doesn't necessarily take away the sadness of losing loved ones, but it might provide a different perspective on what happens when we die. Lastly, exploring the idea of past lives can simply make life more interesting and rich. It adds a layer of mystery and possibility to everyday experiences. That strange dream, that odd coincidence, that inexplicable feeling, all of these become potential clues in a grand cosmic detective story with you as both the detective and the subject. Remember, you don't have to believe in reincarnation to benefit from these ideas. Even approaching them as interesting possibilities can open up new ways of thinking about your life. The goal isn't to prove anything, but to use these concepts as tools for understanding yourself better and living a more fulfilling life. Now, I'd like to share a little bit about my own experience with the idea of past lives. Remember, this is just my personal story, and everyone's journey with this concept is unique. I've always been fascinated by ancient Egypt. Even as a young child, I was drawn to books, movies, and museum exhibits about Egyptian history. But it wasn't just a casual interest. I felt a deep, almost inexplicable connection to that ancient culture. The strangest part was how easily I could understand hieroglyphs. In school, when we had a unit on ancient civilizations, my teacher brought in some pictures of Egyptian writing. To everyone's surprise, including my own, I could read some of it without any training. It was like the symbols just made sense to me, as if I was remembering something I'd once known rather than learning something new. This ability puzzled my teachers, and honestly, it puzzled me too. How could I know something I'd never learned? It made me wonder if I might have lived a past life in ancient Egypt. Maybe I had been a scribe or a scholar, someone whose job it was to read and write these ancient symbols. Of course, I can't prove that I lived in ancient Egypt in a past life. There could be other explanations for my interest and ability. Maybe I was exposed to Egyptian symbols at a very young age and don't remember learning them. Or perhaps I just have a natural knack for that particular writing system. But whether it's a past life memory or not, this connection to ancient Egypt has enriched my life in many ways. It sparked a lifelong love of history and archaeology. It's made me curious about other cultures and times. And it's given me a sense of connection to the long sweep of human history. This experience has taught me that the value isn't in proving whether past lives are real. The value is in how these ideas and experiences shape our current lives. My connection to ancient Egypt, whatever its source, has been a positive force in my life. It's guided some of my interests and studies, and it's given me a unique perspective on the world. I share this story not to convince you that past lives are real, but to show how being open to these ideas can lead to interesting discoveries about yourself. Whether you believe in reincarnation or not, paying attention to your unexplained interests and abilities can lead you down fascinating paths of self-discovery. As we wrap up our exploration of reincarnation and the signs of past lives, let's take a moment to reflect on this fascinating journey. We've delved into the concept of reincarnation, examined 8 potential signs of past lives, and considered how this knowledge might impact our current lives. Remember, the idea of reincarnation isn't about proving anything or changing your entire belief system. It's an invitation to look at your life from a different perspective. Whether you fully believe in past lives, are skeptical but curious, or aren't sure what to think, the value lies in the questions it makes us ask about ourselves and our experiences. These signs, from déjà vu and unexplained fears to innate talents and a sense of mission, are intriguing possibilities to consider. They invite us to look deeper into our own lives, to question why we are the way we are, and to consider that there might be more to our existence than what we see on the surface. Exploring the idea of past lives can be a powerful tool for self-discovery and personal growth. It can help us understand our fears and talents, give new meaning to our relationships, and provide a broader perspective on life's challenges. It might even change how we view death and the nature of existence itself. But remember, this exploration is a personal journey. There's no right or wrong way to approach it. Some people might find deep meaning in the concept of past lives, while others might see it as an interesting idea to consider, but not adopt. Both perspectives are valid. The most important thing is to stay curious and open-minded. Use these ideas as tools for understanding yourself better and living a more fulfilling life. Let them inspire you to dig deeper into your interests, to be more compassionate towards yourself and others, and to consider the bigger picture of your existence. As you go forward from here, I encourage you to pay attention to those moments of déjà vu, those unexplained skills or interests, those recurring patterns in your life. Whether they're echoes of past lives or simply fascinating aspects of your current life, they're part of what makes you unique. Remember, your current life, right here, right now, is the most important one. Use any insights you gain from considering past lives to enrich your present and shape your future. After all, whether we live once or many times, making the most of our current life is what truly matters. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of reincarnation and past lives. I hope it's given you some food for thought and maybe even some new ways of understanding yourself. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and most of all, keep growing. Your soul's journey, whether it spans one life or many, is a beautiful adventure. Enjoy every step of it.